Hello, welcome to our lesson on how to create a logo in Canva. In our previous lesson, we had a tour on Canva on how to access it, to log in, and we just had an overview concerning what Canva is all about and what it can do. Our specific lesson today is how to create a logo in Canva. Okay, so maybe you already have a design in your mind, in terms of your logo, what you'd want your logo to look like. But let's assume maybe that you don't have a design. You know you need a logo for your business, for your school, for your project, or just a logo for your brand, and you have no idea. You don't have anything in mind. I'm just going to give you a few tips. The first tip is you do what we call competitor analysis. So in competitor analysis, is you're looking at what other people are doing within the same industry. So what we're going to do as a means of demonstration is I'm just going to open a new tab and then open Google and then just type in, like in my case, I want to create a logo for my online learning brand on YouTube. I want to create it for my Facebook page. So I'm going to just Google and try and see what others who are within the same industry, that is online learning, are also doing. So I'm just going to type in logos for online learning YouTube. I'll just say YouTube channels. I can use the same logo for my Facebook as well. Then, okay, I'll just go to images so that I can actually see the images. So you'll notice that this is what's predominantly there in terms of online learning. You have this with the cape, and this also has a cape, and this has a YouTube logo. Yeah, this is what's basically out there. So why we're doing competitor analysis is we want to have a visual image of what other people are doing, and also have a feel of the colors, to see what colors they're using, so that when we are creating our logo, we can try and maybe see which colors are predominantly being used. So we'll notice that for most of these online learning channels, there's orange, there's blue, and in terms of visuals, you're looking at capes. This is just a tip. You can decide to go with this or not, or you may actually decide to just come up with something different and unique. But this is just to help in case you're someone who's stuck and you actually don't have an idea or a starting point. You can do online competitor analysis and look at what your competitors are actually having as their logos. Okay, so we've done our competitor analysis. So from our competitor analysis, we've seen what is out there in terms of logos for online education. So the next thing that we need to decide, number two, is to decide, okay, from the competitor analysis that we've done, what type of a logo am I going to create? Is mine going to be a logo that comprises of words only, or it's going to be a logo that's just an image, or it's going to be a logo that has both. Like for example, if we see this first one written education point, it has both. It's got written letters as well as an image. And then when we look at this one here, which is the fourth to your left, it's just basically an image. It doesn't have anything that is written. But I guess for this example, we don't have one way. It's just basically written words. But examples that I can give, for example, some logos that are not necessarily for this industry, but for the food industry. Like, for example, you've got Coca-Cola, that is just basically a written word in a certain font. And then you've even Johnson and Johnson, that's from the industries that has to do with cosmetics. That's also something that is just written. It doesn't have an image on it. So the question is, what is it that you'd want? You can assess what the competition is doing and then decide on your own. So now we're going to go back to Canva with these tips, having seen what the competition is doing, and also having seen that we can have a mix of both in terms of creating the logo, a mix of both letters and an image, or just letters or just an image. So what I'm going to go with is a mix of both. I'm going to go with a mix of letters and also an image. So the nice thing about Canva, as I mentioned in my introduction lesson, is that it is very user beginner friendly. In as much as you've done your competitor analysis, it also gives you templates for logos. So, like for example, in my case, I'm going to be doing online learning. So I'm just going to try and see if that is there on Canva. Online learning logo, and see if Canva can give me something in terms of template to do with online learning. Ah, interesting. It already has online learning um, templates. So from here, I can choose. So this is just not only for online learning, like, okay, for example, let me maybe remove this online learning and then put cosmetics. Let's say you're into cosmetics, and then cosmetics logo. You find that Canva will give you template for cosmetics as well. And then which other industry? Let's say catering, for catering. Yeah, so you see, Canva has a lot of templates. It has a lot of templates that you can actually work with. Um, So this can be a starting point. So given that Canva has already given you some templates, and also you've already done competitor analysis, and you've also decided on the type of logo, whether it's going to be an image only logo, or whether it's going to be a word only logo or mix only logo, you have a starting point already. So let's go back to online learning logo and see what is available, and then yeah, let's start customizing our Canva template for online learning. Okay, so we're going to choose the logo that we're going to customize. So I'm going to go with this one here. This is the logo that I'm going to customize, the template that Canva has given us from our search type that we've searched for learning logos. You'll notice that there are many other logos that are there. And for anything in Canva that has a crown, at the bottom right, this signifies that you'd have to upgrade the current package that you're on, so that you're able to use that particular thing. So in this case, this particular template, we cannot use it because we are currently exploring the new version. Remember, the goal is to explore the new version, see what features we can use, make use of them. Then, if we're happy, you can then upgrade to a paid version, so that you can then use the other, you can unlock the other features of that particular program. So in this case, you notice that all these with crowns, these require you to make a payment for an upgraded version, but this is basically free. So we're going to use that. I'm going to click on these three dots, and then from here, I'm going to select customize this template, because this is what we're going to use. So we're going to use this as our starting point, and then we're going to explore on what we can actually do in terms of edit, um, and even customize. So our template has now loaded. So the first thing I'll do is just click inside the template. You notice that the moment I click, you'll have this menu that will appear, edit. This changes the background color, animate, or position. So what we want to do is we want to change the background color of this template. We'll click on that so that we have this color menu appearing. So you have the options for the solid colors, and then you have an option for the gradient colors. I would really want to us to work with gradient colors. I'm a fan of gradient colors. I prefer having gradient colors in anything that I do. So I'll just click on all of them, and then you notice that you'd have a whole list of these showing. So for example, if you click here, you'll notice that the background color will change to this gradient. But for me, I want to stick to blue. But sticking to blue, I want it to have some sort of gradient. Yes, this is more like it. I like the 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 gradient coming from a lighter color to a darker color. So for me, this works. I'll work with that background. Then the next thing that I'd want us to work on is the font. Do we want to keep this font, the top font? I like Scessive. I like Scessive, and I find that it's attractive. Like it pulls a lot of people's attention. That's why I've noticed that for some companies that only have a logo only that has letters, sometimes use Scessive, like Coca-Cola, like Johnson and Johnson. I would want to go with that. So I'm just going to open the font box by clicking on that font there. And then what will happen is there's a whole list of fonts that's out there, but then we're just going to click on, for example, handwriting, so that um, it can give us like scarcity kind of, because it's less like a category. Like when you click on that, you then get fonts that are more or less the same with what you're looking for. So which is something that I am more inclined to doing, to having. So I am trying to look for something that would work. Yeah, let me try this one better first, see if that would work. If I can change it to that. Yes, I think I prefer that. So my online learning academy is called online learning. Yeah. So yeah, online learning ZW, that's what it's called. I'll just resize that so that it's not too big. And then also, yes, pull it that. And then there's the, yes, and then maybe reduce the font so that it kind of fits in. Mhm. Just a little bit more so that the W then goes in, becomes in one line. Yes, like that. See how far that would go. Then maybe we'll just, yes, like that. And then have something like this, online learning ZW, that's what it's called. And then learning academy, do I want to keep it that way? Okay, I think I can keep this. Then let's move on to the image. Do I want to keep this image? Yes, this does look good, but then I think I would want to add on something. Now let's go to the elements. So on the elements, we can actually add shapes, we can add graphics, animations, photos. I think what would make sense for us is to, yeah, add a graphic. I think that would work better. So instead of having, um, maybe let me have this cape, uh, and and then delete this one, I suppose. Okay, I actually want to delete this element here first. Let me delete that and also delete that. And then, yes, have this. Yeah, I think I would prefer having this one like that. Putting it there. I think that looks better. And then I'd want to have a mouse pointer as well because this is online. And then I'll add my mouse pointer over there. Let me just make it smaller. Yes, and then just shift it up to the side, something like this. So there you have it. This is my this is the logo that I've created. Maybe let me just yes, maybe put this like that. Yes. And then this is the logo that I've actually created based on a template that I got from Canva, and I'm happy with it. I'm liking my logo. I hope you've learned one or two things in terms of how you can create your own logo, despite the fact that maybe you may not even have any way to start, have any idea, but at least you know, um, you have information in terms of your industry, and that you know you need a logo for your industry and for your brand, and that you can always access templates from um, Canva, like what I've just done, and I've created my online um, logo. Yes, so from here I can download this. I can click on share. So from share, I'll be able to download, and then um this is what's suggested, and then this is the size. Okay, in terms of the size, you at this point in time you can't really change, but then because we are on the free version, but then when you upgrade you're able to change to different sizes, because remember, sometimes you'd want to have the logo in a certain size, so you'll be able to change the size if you have an upgraded version. Then in terms of the quality, you can have it compressed, you can have it high, that is if um you have a paid version, and even the transparent background also feature, you can have that when you're on a paid version, but the free version doesn't have this. So this is for you to know, just in case you then decide you'd want to upgrade. These are some of the features that are available. So for now you can just only download, and then you just click on the download button and you download it as is, and then it's now downloading. And then yeah, once it's done downloading, you are then able to um, access it from your downloads folder within your computer. Otherwise, thank you for joining us for our lesson on how to create a logo. I hope you've learned it. You've learned something. And if you've liked this video, please share this video and like it. And also subscribe if you have not yet subscribed, so that you can get notifications on other lessons that I'll be posting. The next lesson that we'll be doing is on how to create a banner using Canva. Thank you very much. See you in our next lesson.